What is GDP, and as realtors, why should we even care? I'm Peter Chabris with Lockbox, and I'm going to answer both of those questions for you right now. Before I do that, I just want to say that this is the first installment in a series of several videos that I'm going to share with you about the economic drivers of the American economy generally, and more specifically the residential real estate industry. And you might be saying, well, that sounds super boring, Peter. Why would I pay attention to these videos? Fair question. Here's the thing you need to know. A mentor of mine once said, you want to be the economist of choice for your people, your sphere of influence. Well, why would they want to do that? Two reasons why. The first one is consumers are attracted to salespeople who are confident and competent, especially when that salesperson is helping them make important financial decisions like transacting real estate. The second reason is you want to train your sphere of influence not to go to the media to get their economic information, and more importantly, interpret it. You want to train them to come to you. The more they come to you with to get economic information, the more you're training them to come to you when it comes time to make a financial decision like transacting real estate. So let's unpack this thing. What is GDP? GDP is just an acronym for gross domestic product, which is really just kind of a collection of all the goods and services that are created or transacted over a period of time. Generally, GDP is measured on a quarterly basis, and those measurements are snapshots in time of how much our economy is growing, right? If more stuff, goods and services being created, then GDP is growing. And for a mature, established, industrialized nation like the American economy, the government wants to see us grow at a 2.5 to 3.5% annual growth rate, right? And why do we want growth? Why is that important to us as real estate agents? Well, if there's an increase in the number of goods and services being purchased, then that means that there's healthy employment, which means if people are employed, they're spending because we are a consumer-driven economy. And as we spend, we feel more confident because of our income, and that drives housing demand. Here's a contrast to illustrate how important this is. In 2005, right before the Great Recession, when the economy was booming, there were 6 million transactions in our economy, 6 million real estate transactions, closings, right? In 2012, at the very bottom of the Great Recession, the housing industry, when the economy was at its weakest, there were only 4 million transactions. So we want a healthy GDP. So how does it impact us? I kind of covered that, right? Growth in GDP equals more demand for housing transactions. It's good for sellers because their price should be going up. It's good for real estate agents because there's more transactions. And finally, the question you may be asking yourself, you may be hearing people say is, well, are we in a recession, right? Let's define what a recession is. A recession is traditionally defined as 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP growth, right? Instead of the GDP growing, it's actually contracting. If you have 2 quarters of negative GDP growth, that is how the federal government defines a recession. And so the answer to the question is no, we are not in a recession. In our industry, it kind of feels like it because sales contracted so much when interest rates came up, but our economy is actually pretty robust, pretty healthy, and continues to grow. So that's the scoop. That's why you want to know about GDP. And the next time you throw that out in a conversation with one of your clients or a prospect, you will see them drawn to the confidence and competence that you're demonstrating when it comes to talking about the American economy. Thanks for watching.